Okay, hi everyone. Today is September 23rd, 2020. I'm Ishan, CTO at MoveWeb. With me today is Ankur, our platform product manager, and Richard, our senior platform engineer. This is our every 2 weeks update on React Storefront. Although just a heads up, we're going to be iterating on the format in the coming weeks. But in the meantime, Ankur, why don't you take it away?
Sure. All right, so we have a couple of things for you today. I'll talk you through what improvements have been made, and then I'll put it back on Ishan to talk about what we are planning for the future. Right, so there has been a minor version update. Last time we were here, we were at version 8.16.2. Now we are at 16.3. So there is a minor change there. The updates that we have made is now the demo site that you see now incorporates a full-fledged checkout cart. So previously, if you used to go there and play around with the functionality, the cart was not built to function perfectly. Now we have updated that, and all the data from the cart is now stored as a demo cookie, which you see in the screenshot over here. So if we can quickly go to the demo site, this looks exactly the same as before. The only difference is now you can go here, add the quantity, and add these items to cart, and you should be able to see those being reflected in the cart screens. You can now play around with the cart, look at the functionality, and how all the data is being stored in the cookie sections as well. So I can reduce the quantity, I can delete the products, and the data is retained even after you refresh the page, which was not the functionality before. If you want to look at the cookies, the data is stored in the cookie section and the RSF mock cart cookie.
Yeah, and just for perspective here, you know, the cart is something that in a lot of times can be very platform specific. So obviously, as you can see, you know, this RSF underscore mock underscore cart cookie is storing the products, but you know, in a lot of e-com platforms, you have a session cookie and there's a backend database that's actually keeping track of the cart, just to illustrate one difference. And so the cart was really something we left out of the demo implementation, but we had a lot of folks trying it out and getting confused, as well as there's still stuff we can do to make it easier for you in terms of giving you an example implementation. So this is partially about usability, you know, for people just trying out specifically the demo, but also usability for developers to see what a cart implementation would look like when they're just starting out, and give you a little better guardrails on that. So that was why we hadn't done it and why we started doing it now.
After that, there was a board meeting on September 14th. There are a couple of topics that were discussed. I'll move it back to Ishan to talk about these now.
Yeah, so as you may recall, we held a technical board meeting with a couple key partners earlier in the summer. We had a second board meeting on the 14th. And I would just encourage anybody who's interested to reach out to us. We're pretty open about having contributors and folks join. So you can contact us via, you know, Twitter or whatever channel you prefer. The biggest things that we discussed, and it's a really big topic and it's not something we're definitively doing, is dropping or replacing Material UI. There's been some concerns around performance with Material, and some issues coming up around customization of you know, interactions with third-party components. But this is not a change we'll do lightly. It's still something we're considering. And again, if there are folks who have thoughts on this and you feel strongly, again, reach out to us. We can discuss it at the next board meeting. But we had a really productive conversation around pros and cons on this. And we'll basically be giving you a lot of heads up if we do this change. It would definitely be a breaking change. The other thing we discussed is connectors and the roadmap around connectors. Nothing new to announce there, but As you know, we've had a couple connectors come out this summer, and we discussed what we're planning to do moving forward with that. So that was the major highlights of the board meeting from earlier this month.
Thanks, Ishan. And that's all we have for you today. We can open it up for questions now.
Yeah, so as a reminder, you can type into the chat window to ask questions. One question is, at least so far, is what are the next connectors? So as some folks may know, we released a Salesforce Commerce Cloud connector earlier in the summer, and we also released a Magento 2 connector. As part of that, we also went through in a previous session what the connector format looks like and how to write your own connector. At this point, I don't think we're ready to announce what the next connector would be. If there's something that folks feel strongly about, let us know. We're obviously considering the most popular e-commerce platforms, but we don't have a definitive timeline for when we're going to be doing that. We'd certainly love to encourage folks to develop their own connectors. So if you're interested, we are totally here to help you and make that as easy as possible. I would love to see more connectors get developed. So I think that's all the questions we have for today. I guess with that, I'll thank everyone for their participation, and we'll talk to you again in the coming weeks.